Feels good. Got the pants, got the charms, necklace, zipper, everything.
It was really unique, I think it's very creative for Caitlin Clark to come up with something like this. And I just enjoy all of it, it's like aura.
We love it! It's simple, yet it speaks a lot.
I love it so much.
And here's what you got, folks. The CC, as it unveiled and Nike showed us, it showed us that they're prepared to pursue the $1 billion revenue that Caitlin Clark is going to bring.
Nike's servers didn't simply go down. The internet was broken by Caitlin Clark. What appeared to be a straightforward midnight merchandise drop became much more. A cultural upheaval that caused Nike to rush to catch up. This athlete wasn't just revealing a t-shirt with their emblem. At this point, women's sports apparel surpassed men's merchandise rather than merely competing with them. Global chaos was sparked by a simple $40 t-shirt with 2 interlocking letters. Refresh websites crashed in a matter of seconds due to millions of admirers, and resale prices shot up to hundreds of dollars in a matter of minutes. This is the crazy part. From Tokyo to London to Sydney, the mayhem was not limited to the United States. Overnight, Clark's emblem became the essential status symbol. How, therefore, could one drop upon Wall Street, alter the sports industry, and leave Nike executives in a panic at 3 in the morning? Let's dissect it.
This just happened a few minutes ago, and it was a long time in the waiting. Many fans were wondering where Nike has been with any Caitlin Clark merchandise whatsoever. And now for the moment many people have been waiting for. Caitlin Clark has dropped her signature logo for her product.
For sports enthusiasts, the countdown to midnight was like New Year's Eve. Nike was the focus of millions of eyes. Hovering over keyboards are calm fingertips. Prepare your credit cards. The moment the clock struck 12, the trademark logo of Caitlin Clark when T went live, mayhem broke out. Nike's servers collapsed under the strain in a matter of seconds. Not only did the website slow down, but it completely collapsed. Shopping carts emptied themselves, error alerts flashed on displays, and irate fans were expelled before they could even input payment details. Digital chaos resulted from what ought to have been a standard merchandise drop. Additionally, the numbers supporting it are quite incredible. Nike recorded more than 10 million page visits in the first 60 seconds. That's more visitors than most websites receive in a year. Nike was still able to process 500,000 purchases at $40 for adults and $35 for children before the system crashed. This resulted in revenue of around $20 million. Gone from consumer wallets to Nike's bank account in less time than it takes to warm up popcorn. Sneakerheads thought they had seen it all with Jordan releases, Travis Scott drops, or Yeezy launches, but nothing compared to this. No shoe, no limited edition collab had ever triggered such immediate, unstoppable frenzy. The craziest aspect was that this was just the start. Because while regular fans were fighting broken websites, another group was preparing to cash in like never before.
Only imagine it's going to get sold out lickety-split. Caitlin Clark was first signed to Nike in April of 2024, so it took about a year, and
another army was already well ahead, while regular fans were stuck in checkout purgatory. Resellers equipped with software that might outperform human response, bots, and multiple accounts. Before the majority of fans ever saw the Buy Now button, they swept in and grabbed hundreds of Caitlin Clark shirts. The secondary market was booming by the time irate consumers updated their browsers. In a matter of minutes, listings for the shirt appeared on StockX, eBay, and GRA. Prices increased dramatically, not just slightly. Suddenly, a $40 tee was selling for $300, $400, or even $500. On a simple cotton shirt, that is a 200% markup. And professional resellers who were profitable were at the heart of it all. Specifically, a well-known sneaker hustler known as Sneaker King, who is 23 years old, is said to have made over $5,000 in a single night by swapping Clark's branded t-shirts. Desperate fans willing to pay nearly anything to own a piece of history purchased hundreds of shirts in bulk using bots. What insiders previously knew was later confirmed by StockX. Every record they had for non-sneaker items was broken by the traffic for Clark's drop. More deals than Supreme in a single day. More demand than limited edition Jordans. More excitement than partnerships with Travis Scott. And keep in mind that this was neither a fashion label nor a luxury brand. This was the first logo t-shirt worn by women's basketball players. Nike wasn't even completely aware of what the secondary market frenzy proved. The impact of Caitlin Clark went beyond athletics. She was selling to more than just WNBA supporters. She was driving the streetwear movement around the world. And things were going to grow even more bizarre, while resellers were making money online halfway around the globe.
It's special. I mean, there's very few people who get the opportunity to say that they have a logo and to make the impact that she makes, not just, I think, in the sport, but globally, just by being who she is. She's a connector. She brings people together. And, I think for us to be a part of that, and whether it's, as simple as being able to celebrate all of these things with her, or as much as walking out into the arena and seeing the whiteout on the chairs out there, it's really cool, and it's really special and shoot, I'm talking about it right now, and just feeling the intense gratitude for me personally, being in women's basketball, to be able to be a part of this moment. And
the insanity spread beyond the boundaries of the United States. A few hours later, when the clock struck 6 in London and Paris, Nike's European servers had the exact same collapse, making it worldwide. When fans got up early to claim their piece of Clark history, they were met with the same dreadful error messages. Shirts that did make it through were already selling for more than $350 online in a matter of minutes. The pandemonium escalated to a whole new level in Asia. The shirt was immediately listed for more than 3,000 yen, or more than $400 on Chinese resale marketplaces. In fact, individuals were paying for it. In anticipation of an in-person resupply, Japanese fans, who are well known for their passion for both sports and fashion, set up camp outside Nike stores in Tokyo. Crowds surged so violently when doors opened that police had to step in to maintain order. Similar situations were witnessed in Australia and South Korea, where local news covered what appeared to be more of a cultural phenomenon than a product introduction, and websites had buckling lines that stretched around blocks. Nike was in a panic behind the scenes. The pressure of worldwide demand was causing their supply chain to collapse. Emergency overtime shifts were mandated for factories in Indonesia and Vietnam. Millions of fresh units were produced by workers who called in at strange hours. In order to transport Caitlin Clark items to stores and warehouses before anything else, shipping companies were given treble charges. As if they were carrying gold, trucks loaded with nothing but Clark-branded tees drove out of distribution centers. What Nike had anticipated as a massive but controlled launch was turning into a global craze for a women's basketball player logo tee, something no brand had ever witnessed before. Additionally, things inside Nike's headquarters were about to grow much wilder when fans waited in queue outside stores and factories hurried to keep up. In the middle of the night, Nike's Beaverton headquarters resembled a war room rather than a business campus. At 3 a.m, executives were awakened by frantic phone calls. Before dawn, the CEO was allegedly briefed. In less than 3 hours, the initial wave of production, totaling 2 million units, was consumed. To put things in perspective, most Jordan releases sell out in a matter of weeks. Nike believed they were ready, but the truth was harsh. What they thought would be a huge victory had turned into a serious logistical problem. Meetings for emergencies continued all night. Contingency plans piled up on whiteboards. Regional offices from Europe to Asia were reporting the same news, and phone lines were constantly buzzing. "We're completely sold out. We now require more." It was an extreme solution. Vietnamese and Indonesian factories that were already working long shifts were instructed to increase production to full capacity. Employees were called in at strange times. All day long, assembly lines were illuminated. Nike practically tripled their output overnight when they placed urgent orders for an additional 5 million shirts in a matter of hours. Additionally, it was a struggle to get the products from factories to fans. For the sole purpose of giving Clark items priority over everything else, shipping companies were offered 3 times their regular prices. Logistics teams used cargo planes to expedite supplies, and FedEx and UPS trucks were only loaded with Caitlin Clark boxes. To meet the demand, all resources were rerouted toward a single goal. What had started out as a well-planned worldwide launch had become a struggle for survival. Additionally, Wall Street and social media were realizing the magnitude of what had just occurred while Nike battled fires behind the scenes. Wall Street was already having fun while Nike's IT teams continued to fix malfunctioning servers. Nike's stock price had increased 8% in pre-market trading by daybreak. A single product line drove an unprecedented increase. The Caitlin Clark collection was hailed by analysts as the most explosive debut in contemporary retail, and they hurried to raise ratings. Investors didn't see anarchy as a frailty, was evidence of uncontrollable demand. Simultaneously, social media transformed the launch into a cultural event. The hashtag #Caitlin Clark Nike rose to the top of the global rankings, rising in all categories, not just sports. Videos of fans sobbing after not being able to get a jersey filled TikTok channels. In a matter of hours, some had amassed tens of millions of views. Influencers also chimed in, promising to pay $100 for a tee. The prestige of being able to flaunt it online is more important than the cloth. Then the avalanche of celebrities arrived. LeBron James shared a photo of himself sporting the jersey with the words, "Respect greatness." In less than an hour, that one post received 5 million likes. When Taylor Swift was seen wearing Clark's tee beneath her jacket at a Chiefs game, it caused a viral craze that brought together both basketball fans and Swifties. To clothe his squad, Drake allegedly purchased 100 jerseys from resellers. And when the greatest shoe seller of all time took notice, Michael Jordan, yes, MJ himself, called Nike executives to personally congratulate them on the debut. The game has changed, you know. The narrative for Nike had already transcended sales. Caitlin Clark was more than just a retailer. She was reinventing the athlete branding playbook. However, their rivals were on the verge of going into full-blown crisis mode as the festivities reached their zenith. The rest of the sportswear sector was staring at catastrophe, while Nike was enjoying record-breaking income. Within hours of Clark's drop, Adidas, Under Armour, and Puma reportedly called emergency meetings